Hello everyone, myself Sonia Relan. My subject is computer network and I'm going to teach on ISO-SI model. So let's see the learning objective, which is understanding the functioning of all the layers of ISO-SI model and realizing it in the real world. First of all, ISO standard. ISO established in 1947, which is a multinational body dedicated to worldwide agreement on international standards. ISO covers all aspects of network communication and is the open system interconnection model. It was first introduced in the late 1970s. So I can say ISO is the organization and OSI is the model. These are the 7 layers of the ISO-SI model. Each layer performs a subset of the required communication functions. Each layer relies on the next layer to perform more primitive functions. Each layer provides services to the upper layer. Changes in one layer should not affect changes in the other layer. If you can see in this diagram, basically encapsulation is taking place. What is happening is, at the application layer, a header is getting added to the data what a user is sending to the particular receiver. We will come to the below layer, like we have seen in the diagram. We have seen in the presentation layer, the data gets encapsulated with its own header. At the session layer, data gets encapsulated with its own header. So at every layer, some data is getting encapsulated with some particular header. It is only data link layer where data is getting encapsulated with its header and its trailer. And finally, we have at the bottom is physical layer. So this is encapsulation taking place at the sender side and decapsulation taking place at the receiver side. Now let's start from the bottommost layer, physical layer. As you can see in the diagram, the data which comes from the data link layer to the physical layer, the transmission of data in terms of binary is taking place. And this binary data is then transmitted through a particular medium. This medium can be twisted pair cable, fiber optic cable or copper media cable. As the data reaches to receiver, it is in the same format what the sender has sent and it is above transferred to the data link layer. As we said, the layer provides services to the upper layers. Let's see what are the responsibilities of the physical layer. Physical characteristics of interfaces and medium. What devices we are going to communicate, what types of transmission medium we are going to use with the host in the network. This will define at the physical layer. Then representation of bits, whether we are going to convert the data in terms of signal, electrical signals or optical signals. So basically this representation of bits will define encoding. Data rate, the transmission rate, the number of bits sent each second is also defined at the physical layer. Synchronization of bits, the sender and receiver must not only use the same bit rate but also be synchronized at the bit level. In other words, sender and receiver clocks must be synchronized. Line configuration. Physical layer is concerned with the connection of devices to the media, whether it is in point-to-point configuration or multi-point configuration. So that will be decided at the line configuration. Then physical topology, a particular sender is connected in what topology, whether it is in star topology, ring, bus, mesh topology, that will be decided at the physical layer. Transmission mode, now this decides the communication is in which mode, either it is in simplex mode, one directional, half duplex mode, unidirectional at end time, or it is in full duplex communication, which provides bidirectional communication between sender and receiver. Next is data link layer. Now, but of course, physical layer provides services to the data link layer. So as we can see, it's the only data link layer that is going to add header as well as trailer to the encapsulated data which comes from the network layer. Same way you can see decapsulation here. Let's see the responsibilities of the data link layer. The very important job it do is moving frames from one hop to the next. But of course, data link layer is concerned only with one hop to the next hop which are physically connected, that is to the neighboring hop. First job it will do is framing, that is to form frames from the packets what it receives from the network layer. Now framing can be of variable length frames and it may be of fixed length frames. The next job is done is physical addressing. Here the data link layer is going to add MAC addresses, the machine addresses of the sender and of the receiver in the particular frame which we are going to transmit. Flow control, this is going to match the data rate at the sender side and at the receiver side. It should if the data rate at which data is absorbed by the receiver is less than the rate produced at the sender, data link layer imposes a flow control mechanism to prevent overwhelming the receiver. Error control, we need to check the reliability of data, whether it has been received correctly at the receiver side. So we need to implement either two of the techniques, error detection technique or error correction technique. Access control. When two or more devices are connected to the same link, data link layer protocols are necessary to determine which device has control over the link at any given time. Let's see the another layer. Same way, the data which comes from the transport layer, usually we call it as a segment, which comes from the transport layer, is encapsulated with the header of the network layer. Together we'll call this data as a packet, which will be provided to data link layer. Same way decapsulation will take place here. You will remove out the packet from the frame of the data link layer, and then you will remove out the segment from the network layer and you will transmit it to the transport layer. Now network layer is responsible for delivery of individual packets from source host to destination host. We shall remember data link layer was providing the delivery of data in between two hops which are physically connected. Network layer is going to provide the delivery of data in between source and destination. The source and destination can lie in any two networks in any two different countries. The first thing what network layer is going to do is logical addressing. Now what do we mean by logical addressing? It is going to assign IP address, logical addressing, where the packet adds the IP address of the source and the IP address of the destination, and through this IP address the route is established between source and destination. So this is very important job done at network layer. Routing is to establish the path between source and destination with the help of these IP addresses. Transport layer. Here is where the different processes running at the application layer are segregated and a different segment is formed at each of the segment. If you will see, the transport layer adds header to each of the data which comes from the different processes which are running at the application layer. Transport layer is responsible for the delivery of a message from one process to another process. The first thing transport layer do is service point addressing, which I told, different processes running at application layer. Second is segmentation. I am building segments of the data which comes from the application layer or from the session layer. Then reassembly. I have to assemble all the segments at the receiver side, bring out the data and just forward it to the session layer. Connection control. It is the transport layer who will establishing the connection, making the data transfer and then releasing the connection between source process and destination process. Flow control. The transport layer is responsible for flow control. At this layer it performs end-to-end rather than across the single link. Error control. It performs error among process to process rather than end-to-end. Session layer is responsible to build up the sessions among the source node and destination node. The function it will be doing is of dialog control and synchronization. Dialog control and synchronization, which allows two systems to enter into one dialog and the communication takes place in between two processes. Synchronization allows processes to add checkpoints into a stream of data. Presentation layer. Here the layer is concerned with the syntax and semantics of the information exchange between two systems. So it basically do is translation of the data from one format to another, compression of data to reduce the size, and encryption is to carry sensitive information and it converts into from one format to a particular encoded format. Application layer. Here is what the user runs different applications. Specific services provided by application layer include network virtual terminal, then file transfer, access and management, mail services, directory services. So here we can summarize for all the layers Application layers allow access to network resources. Presentation layers translate, encrypts, and compress data. Session layer establishes, manages, and terminates sessions. Transport layer provides reliable process-to-process message delivery and error recovery. Network layer moves packet from source to destination to provide inter-networking. Data link layer organizes bits into frames to provide hop-to-hop delivery. Physical layer transmits bits over a medium to provide mechanical and electrical specification. I hope the learning objective is achieved through the ISO SI model. Thank you so much.